See that, but the way that you can trade though is like, yeah, you're hitting the creeps. So now that you have a creep advantage, just go hit the centaur. Like once it's there's no creeps there that are gonna punish you for hitting the centaur, then you should be hitting him, especially because he has no stout. Otherwise, you're just gonna, and then if he's backed off like this, you don't want to push the wave. Like if you're doing your job in zoning them and you're already like winning the lane, essentially when it comes to laning, at the very least in the off lane, there's like a state in which you have won the lane, and this is what you always want to push the game to. The state where you've won the lane is not the state where you're killing them over and over. It's the state where you are standing between them and the creep wave, and there's nothing they can do about it. And that state can happen at 1 minute into the game. That can happen at 5 minutes into the game. It could even happen at 0 minutes into the game, where you just start automatically as the stronger hero. And if you're in that state, like for instance, if the creep wave is here, you don't want to push it, and you just want to body between them and the creep wave, because then they're not going to get anything out of that lane, and pushing into them, even if they die, they're getting something out of this lane, which is worse for you. So essentially, like, I think this game is already in that state because of the crappy items that they went, and because they didn't play well at the start. And you could absolutely just like have asserted yourself as winning the lane already. This guy kind of gets got out of position.
Yeah, I think that it's really just kind of important to recognize that the laning stage, while it is about accumulating farm, it's more so about who is in control of access to the farm, right?
Yeah.
And so in this case, because this guy, I mean, now he has Tranquil Boots, so he has essentially infinite regen, kind of. But when he showed up to lane, he had no stout shield and no regen other than the ring of regen, which is like very, very low regen. You can essentially just get him down to 200 HP immediately. Like if he approaches the creep wave, you just hit him until he has to leave, otherwise he dies. And once that happens, how does a 200 HP centaur ever get a creep? He can't, because if he does, he just dies.
And you know, at that point, you don't want to right click. You don't want to like right click him, like past the creep wave, because that'll draw creep aggro, which will push into him. You just want to move your hero without A moving, and move your hero to be a body between. And then if he does come up, then you click him. But you never just like click your hero past the creep wave onto him, because that'll aggro the creeps.
Yeah, you just go stand here and let these creeps fight each other, and then walk back and get your last hit, and then you just stand here again until the next creep wave comes, basically.
That's like one of the most important things that I learned about laning. It's like the difference between going to actually hit somebody and threatening to hit them.
Yep.
Threatening to hit them should not include any A movement or any attack calls, because attack calls will trigger the creeps to go on you, which will screw up the creep equilibrium, which is the entire purpose of you intimidating him in the first place. So basically, like, make sure that when you're being aggressive, it can also just be feigning aggression and showing, I'm here, and if you come here, I'll hit you. And a lot of the time, that's enough to get somebody to just stay off the lane, so it doesn't push it, and then you're winning the lane without even having to hit him.
Yep. And I wanted to highlight this particular moment because, okay, we're going to watch CM. He uses Crystal Nova on the wave. So now his creep wave officially wins this trade. It's going to push into your tower if you were to do nothing, which means that you can essentially just do what's called freezing the wave. You can just freeze the wave outside of your tower range, and then you've essentially become the safe lane carry, because you're just farming in front of your tower, and they're not even remotely close to their tower.
The lane is already won at that point.
Yeah, if you can get the wave directly in front of your tower as an offlaner or as a safe laner, like, that is the ideal state to be in. If you can just freely hit creeps in front of your tower and nobody can wrap around on you because you have a tower behind you, and you can just infinitely farm right there. As long as you're minding the creep wave equilibrium by denying your creeps and then just like holding the creep wave there. You know, even if all of your creeps die and you just have to tank the creeps for like 10 seconds until your next creep wave gets there, you can just hold it right here, and then you just have free farm for the entire laning stage until something else happens.
Yeah.